Hello everyone. Yeah, this morning, overall today was really good again. So I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about a few of the trades that we took. One of the easier setups that we took this morning was the SPY trade where we went short. So once again, we need to contextualize what was going on prior in the market for the morning. And in the morning, multiple times we saw weakness at levels of resistance. The SPY was showing lots of weakness here at this level of 599.50. So that was a clear-cut, major level, like psychological level that was failing to breach, okay? And then I basically showed how there was specific resistance levels on the NASDAQ and the QQQ that were failing to break above. So, yeah, so let's go ahead and just talk about this for now. So what we saw in the morning was the IWM, which was a big winner yesterday, right? We can see that the IWM today is not a big winner. It's actually a big loser, right? And so if we're already going to see weakness out of the IWM, then going short would mostly be dependent on the strength of the NASDAQ. So what I also saw earlier in the morning was the NASDAQ was not showing tons of strength. So the NASDAQ was actually showing a lot of weakness. So what have we learned so far based off what I was just saying? Number one, the Russell overnight was showing lots of weakness. And then number two, in the morning, the NASDAQ was showing intraday weakness, lots of intraday weakness. So it made it pretty simple and pretty easy to lean bearish on the S&P 500 because the S&P 500 is influenced by the Russell 2000 as well as the NASDAQ. Now, with that being said, what we did was we went short on the S&P at 10.12. 10.15. So we went short on the S&P at 10.15. Let me show you guys on the SPY. So 10.15 we went short. The reason for that is because number one, we already saw some weakness heading in, right? We saw some weakness. This was the best setup in my opinion after news. So at 10 a.m., obviously you see this big wick right here. 10 a.m. we had news come out. And generally, I do not hold anything during that time of news. So we were waiting for a good solid setup. What we saw so far, bear flag. Bear flag breakdown lower. Okay? So this was already weak. We missed this move. I didn't want to go long down here. As we approached 598, and in the room I was saying 598 was a major level of support. I didn't want to go long. Instead, I wanted to continue with this bearish momentum. Clear-cut bearish momentum in the NASDAQ, in the Russell. I wanted to continue, okay? So not only did we have lots of resistance at 598.50 and 599, okay? Clear-cut. What I wanted to do was I wanted to wait for a bounce off of this support into these levels of resistance at 599. And that is essentially what we did. So that's the reason why we ended up going short here at 10.15. So we went short here on this candle. Very nice and tight trade. And what ended up happening, we ended up making new lows for the day. So this was a really solid trade. This ended up going over 20%. Amazing trade. Really good. The next trade that I want to go over was at 10.33. And it was the same concept. After making the new lows, I wanted to reshort at a prior level of resistance. Basically as close to 599 as possible. And that's essentially what we did. Once we saw some weakness at 599, we had to go short. We had to take it. And then we ended up really collapsing. And this ended up going basically over 20% as well. So this was a really good trade also. And that worked out phenomenally with almost the same exact concept, same mindset, essentially. And then this is the NASDAQ. Another really good solid trade that we took was we went short on the NASDAQ. Similar concept. You could see that we were testing this trend line. and I saw that there was resistance. We were failing to break above 509. And I had a stop loss at 509.30 on this trade. So I had a stop loss right here. I saw a bull flag essentially being formed. This was a retest of the 618% fib on this bull flag. And I did not think that this move would continue because, once again, the entire day so far, up until then, was very bearish. So this was another really solid opportunity to go short against this trend line, against a horizontal level of resistance as well. So we ended up going short at 1106 right here. And you could see that this just was very perfect. We had that tight stop loss about 30 cents away, and it worked out really, really well, thankfully. So these were just a few of the trades that we took. Today was a very, very good day overall. And yeah, I go a bit more in depth. I go over in detail as things are going on. I give my thought process, my analysis of what is going on intraday as well. So I hope this made some sense. And yeah, we're just going to continue. So far, this week has been amazing. And I hope it's been amazing for you guys as well. All right, so take care. I will see you guys in the room, and I'll see you guys on voice chat again tomorrow.